Hello everyone, and I hope you're doing well wherever you're listening. Today we're in our third week of our Revelation study, and we will discuss chapters 4 through 19. Since there are many different topics discussed from chapter to chapter, I feel the best use of our time will be to discuss common themes found in these 15 chapters, rather than discussing each chapter individually. Before we begin, this section of Scripture is one of the most misused, misquoted, and misunderstood sections in the Bible. It's here where we get the 7 seals, trumpets, and bowls, the beast, the number 666, and many others. The purpose of today's study is not to say what these things mean, but to be vigilant and watchful. Personally, I doubt we'll be able to understand these predictions until they actually happen and when they actually occur. With that all said, let's get into some themes and applications from chapters 4 through 19. Chapters 4 and 5 have spectacular visuals of God's throne and the scene in heaven. It's from this passage where we find "Worthy is the Lamb," often found in our worship songs, as well as the inspiration for the song, "Is He Worthy?" It is also from here where we get our verse of the day, Revelation 5, 9 through 10. "And they sang a new song, saying, 'Worthy are you to take the scroll and to open its seals, for you were slain, and by your blood you ransomed people for God, from every tribe and language and people and nation, and you have made them a kingdom and priests to our God, and they shall reign on the earth.'" If you take anything away from that verse, take away this: we are saved by nothing other than Jesus' blood. No one else, not a person nor the mightiest angel, is worthy to save us except for Jesus. After this passage and through chapter 19, there are many symbols and intimidating images. There are the 7 seals, which is God's wrath unleashed on the earth. The same is true for the trumpets and the bowls. God, who is slow to anger, has now unleashed his power against those who have rejected him. I personally don't think Christians will experience these things. I think we are called up prior, as described in 1 Thessalonians 4, but that is my personal interpretation from my own research. Regardless of when we are called home, our eternal destination is secure as Christians, and we should be hopeful. I'll get into more of that next week, though. My next point revolves around the beasts mentioned in chapter 13 and the number 666. There have been thousands of movies, books, songs, and accusations around what and who these symbols apply to. At the end of chapter 13, we are told, "Let him who has wisdom calculate the number 666. Many people have tried to decipher what this means, and I think I've figured it out. Yes, you heard that right. The answer is rather simple. I have no idea. But I know who does, and he sits on heaven's throne. Let him who has more wisdom to match God. No one does." Next, a number that pops up several times and that is referenced throughout the chapters is the 144,000 who are sealed. This does not mean only 144,000 are saved in total. There are many passages that back this up, but I will only discuss one as well as a certain principle. The verse is that of Romans 3, 21 through 26, but summarized, "Righteousness is faith in Jesus for all who believe." That means anyone who surrenders, not limited only to a few. And then the principle that I mentioned is that of God willing none to perish. Why would God have Jesus pay an eternal price and send the disciples out to spread the gospel throughout the whole world only to limit attendance? Heaven does not have capacity like a stadium. That just doesn't make any sense. Lastly, in chapter 12, Satan is finally banished from heaven. He is the accuser, where day and night he is accusing us in front of God. He points out everything you've done and is saying why you should not be allowed salvation. That would be our doom if not for 2 things: grace and our advocate. God's grace covers Christians, so we are blameless by Christ's sacrifice, and Jesus is always interceding on our behalf. Once we are covered by Christ, nothing, not angels or demons, not sin or our own human devices, nor height nor depth, or anything else created can separate us from Jesus, as mentioned in Romans 8. As you can see, there are many symbols discussed in the book of Revelation. They can be intimidating, especially when we're not even sure what they mean. However, God is still on the throne, and he is always in control. Nothing is outside his power, and he knows what is always going on, and that should give us peace. Thank you all for listening today. I hope we have a great day, a wonderful weekend, and God bless you all.